Hey guys, if we reach 1,000 likes, we'll be giving out 2 of our new shirts. All you gotta do is click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Modern day cartoons have evolved in many regards over the years. No longer is every frame meticulously hand-drawn and assets layered on top of one another, but the process has been digitized and sometimes not even drawn by hand. Heck, even traditional CG isn't just CG anymore, but there's a style that infuses traditional with CG in its own unique and amazing look. But besides the actual technological advances made in the art form, there's something else that has only gotten better as time has gone on. The diversity of the stories and the characters. Well, yes, you'd be 100% correct in saying that diversity by itself isn't creative, and that by forcing diversity, as certain groups of society wish to do, will actually stifle creative ideals. But the fact is, we now have the option to create a larger array of cast and characters that are deemed socially acceptable, and certain shows have certainly been pushing the boundaries of what they can get away with. Gone are the days of censoring the relationships of certain Sailor Scout couples. Here are the days of the thinly veiled metaphors for lesbian sex, transgendered issues, and everything Tumblr loves to talk about. But today we aren't looking at the rocks from across the stars. No, today we look at the demons here on Earth, the bloodsuckers that don't sparkle, and the gooey substances you step in when you're walking home. Princess Bubblegum and Marceline.
Adventure time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to a very distant land with Finn and Jake and Marceline and Princess Bubblegum. It's adventure time.
Adventure Time has a habit of introducing some very unique characters and concepts in their show, while still being vague enough to be broadcasted as a teen show. But it's not so vague as to make it so that a normal person watching it wouldn't understand the underlying meanings without reading a 12-page dissertation on the interactions between two characters. The most notable interactions are the love triangles that aren't hidden through the lewd long glances and accidental hand touches like a lot of shows have, but outright talked about with the characters venting their frustrations about the situation. But we're not here to talk about the more vanilla nature of Finn x Bubblegum, or Flame Princess, or even Finn at all. The story we're after is a little less traditional. Actually, thinking about it, a boy in love with a literal flaming tornado ready to erupt at any time isn't actually traditional. Well, unless you're talking about marriage, in which case, no, yeah, that's spot on, mate. That's dead on. We're here to talk about the relationship of Bubblegum and Marceline. The vibes these two give off are pretty intense at times, but shouldn't it be? We've seen Bubblegum's displeasure with the candy people, as for the most part they are simply not as reactive and as engaging as normal creatures. They normally lack in intelligence and common sense. As well, they often put Bubblegum on a god-level status, further alienating her from them. And her age alone makes her unable to connect with other life forms around her. None of them have been around as long as she has, and most of them will never be. Why bother becoming friends with someone when, in the blink of an eye, they'll no longer be there? She's not a normally aging individual. She, for all intents and purposes, might as well be immortal, in the sense of she won't die from old age. But there's someone who could relate to her. Marceline. Marceline has been around even longer than Princess Bubblegum, and has seen the destruction that had engulfed the world from when the bombs first fell. These two have been together for some time, and nothing makes relationships stronger than hardships such as these. A sort of forced codependency fostering into something familiar you longed for. In an ever-changing and strange world from what you remember, with no one to call family and no true friends, you gravitate to what you remember. The laughs you had, the battles you fought, and the love you shared. These two characters' love isn't born from pure physical attraction to one another, but it's born as organically and pure as any other relationship. In fact, it's better than most relationships. Remember the episode where Marceline tried to get her stuffed bear back from the witch? But the witch wanted the love that was inside of the bear. Bubblegum carried around a t-shirt that she gave to the witch. The love in which was more than what she's ever seen before. But who gave her that shirt? Well, it's Marceline. There was moments where Marceline also purposely messed up the relationship between Finn and Bubblegum from ever happening. Look, really, these characters are meant to be together. In fact, the creator, as offhandedly as one would discuss the weather of the day, stated as much that they did date in the past. So that's it, right? I mean, case closed. They dated. They were a couple, and they probably do still have feelings for one another. So video over, right? Well, I wouldn't really say that. I mean, the fact that they dated isn't really in dispute anymore. The fact of the matter is, even though they did date, and even though the creator said they dated, were they ever really a couple? What I mean is, the show will never say they are. In fact, the show creator even stated as such. He said it probably will never be in the book or documentary or anything like that, on account of it's illegal in some places where the show airs. So here's the thing, are they actually gay if the show will never actually say it? Can they give us all kinds of subtle winks and nods and say, well, you guys know there probably is something there, but we'll never tell you? I've been going on and on about how diverse cartoons are now and how we've evolved, but if we still hide characters like this, they're still hiding, even if it's in plain sight. Should a character really be deemed being gay if it's never even brought up in the story? Don't get me wrong, sexuality isn't the main characteristic that a character should be based upon. The fact is that this story arc has to do with the tension between these two characters, and that tension is caused by the fact that they do have deep-rooted feelings for one another. But these feelings are always hidden. They're never directly addressed. Yes, they're friends, but they're also more than friends. And they were more than friends. But they have to hide it. Sure, you can say, well, it's not too well hidden, and you can totally infer it. But that's the thing. Should we have to keep on inferring things as simple as this? If these were two female and male characters, there would be absolutely no reason to hide it. Look, I'm not here to argue that all show characters should be openly gay or openly trans or anything like that. I don't really care that much, but it's the fact of, can we call a character something if the show never says that they are? The authorial intent says that yes, these characters were supposed to be lesbians, but it's never going to be shown in the show. A lot of my theory videos that I do are based upon omission, things that the writers never really talked about or were never really explained in the show. But when the author actually wants to explain something, but knows that they can't because of the network and other issues in the world, what happens then? I don't know if these characters should be actually considered gay or not. And I guess the story is the same whether or not. Here's what I want to know. Does it really matter? Does it matter if it's openly stated or not? Should it be openly stated? It's pretty apparent in the show that these characters have some sort of very deep connection to one another. But does that connection necessarily have to be love? The author obviously wants it to be, but the show won't ever say it. At the end of the day, you could take it as them being friends, and that's what they're banking on. Despite how far we've come, it seems like there's still more hurdles than we actually really realize. Should we have to really use metaphors and similes in order to convey such a simple ideal of someone who loves another person of the same sex or gender? Should we really consider these gay characters if the author doesn't have the balls to stand up and say no to the network? That's not me ragging on the guy, I love the show, but I actually want to know what you guys think. Honestly, I would love it for the guy to just go, fuck you, Cartoon Network. We do what we want. Of course, that's gonna get the show pulled from multiple countries, even if Cartoon Network is fine with the idea. And I'm sure Cartoon Network really doesn't care as long as they're making money. But that's the thing, if the show's banned in multiple countries, and multiple parents, even in America, probably wouldn't want their children watching it simply because of the fact that they're still stuck in the 1950s. The simple question of, are these characters gay, isn't as simple as you would think it is. But these are just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours, so be sure to leave them down in the comment section. So this has been Faith and Melimides. I'll see you guys next time. Hey there guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in getting some merch, visit our TeePublic store. And if you really love us, be sure to check out our Patreon where you can get some awesome perks for supporting the channel.